Welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. Today I want to show you a really quick and easy card using the new Hedgehog Hollow September box. This month's box is focused around Catherine Pooler and her wonderful illustrator Shauna Klingerman, who made a gorgeous floral stamp set for us. So this is her stamp set here, and I already have my flower ready to go. I'm using a Catherine Pooler Midnight ink, and if you're a subscriber to the box, you will have a coupon code over for Catherine Pooler, and I highly recommend her inks. She has a sponge base to her inks, so they're a little bit different to many other inks on the market, and she has a special formulation. You get beautiful, crisp, vibrant colours. You can see there how gorgeous that comes out. So I'm going to just put my MISTI to the side for now, and I'm going to be using my Pinkfresh watercolours here. I'm going to open these up, and I want to pick out a couple of complementary colours. So I'm going to use the bright green. I'm also going to probably use the orange. There's also a beautiful pink shade in here, and I want the black as well. Also, just how beautiful are these bottles that they come in as well. So you can buy them individually or as a set. So I'm going to pop down some of that bright pink. Like this. And I'm just popping it into the, excuse me, into the palette area of my Tim Holtz platform. I'm going to add some green. That beautiful intensity there. We'll use the black last. I think I'm going to actually change my mind slightly. And this is the great thing about card making, is you can make lots of adjustments as you go along. I'm going to grab the blue. Of course, all your links are in the description below. Also link up the box for you if you're not already a box subscriber. The box comes every month. We focus on a different company. This month, as I mentioned, was Catherine Pooler. And you get a set of supplies, you get card bases, you get your card stocks. You pretty much get everything you need to make the projects. And between myself and the design team, we give you over 20 different ideas of ways to use your box. Plus we have a Facebook group, and you also get exclusive coupons as well to the stores we're working with. Every month you also get a Tonic coupon and an Ellen Hudson coupon as well. So lots and lots of money saving ways there as well. And you also get access to our limited edition boxes first. So we've just launched our Christmas box, and our subscribers had the opportunity to subscribe to that first. So I'm going to move these to the side. Now I've got my drops of colour down. I'm going to grab my spray bottle of water, and I already have a paintbrush here. And let's open that up. So let's start by just putting on some water onto our brush, and I'm going to pick up some of this beautiful pink colour here. And I'm just going to add some colour in. I'm not going to worry about being too precise, because I kind of want that wishy-washy watercolour feel to it. And you can just work with these watercolours. So you can water them down to be as light as you'd like, or you can leave them super intense as well. You can also put water down and then add the ink on top, and you'll get a beautiful effect there as well. I'm just working on my regular Nina cardstock. You absolutely could be working on watercolour cardstock, but I'm not using much water, so I just stuck with my regular Nina cardstock here. And that's what you have included in your box too, like so. And I'm going to just wash out my piece over here. And I'm not worried about that black going, because we're going to use that anyway in a moment. I'm going to water down this blue a little bit. And again, a great part of the Tim Holtz mat is that you can do these amazing techniques with it as well. And you can use it as a palette, you can use it to create backgrounds. I just love working on my mat. So you can see here, I'm not doing anything particularly fancy. I'm going to mix this for a pretty purple shade in the middle here. Put some more water down. I'd like my peony to be a little bit more wishy-washy. So I'm putting down some water first. You can see how I'm just adding that colour in. And I can go back and I can add texture in. So you can see I'm not really doing anything particularly difficult with this technique, and I'm letting it go into different pinks and blues. So it kind of naturally forms some different tones and textures in there. I'm going to go back with this here. You can see that I've got a completely different colour. It's more a magenta colour. Like so. And I'm going to grab a clean brush. I happen to have an Aqua brush here, so I'm just going to use this. And I'm going to pick up some of that green. I'm going to pull it out because I want it a little bit lighter. And I'm just adding some streaks in. Like this. And you can see, again, just naturally, as the brush kind of, the wetness changes and things like that, I'm getting different shades in there. I'm going to add it onto this leaf. Like this. And I'm going to add just a little more pinky in that centre there. And of course we can add things later on as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors here to fussy cut this out. Again, not going to worry about too many details. When I'm fussy cutting, I like to use these really small snips from Tonic. These are Tim Holtz snips. You want to have the Tonic Tim Holtz piece facing you so that you don't get those serrations on top. And what I like to do is I work in sections, and I kind of keep my scissors pretty still, and I prefer to move the cardstock. A, I find that's much quicker, and B, it gives me more precision. So you can see here I'm actually just moving that cardstock as I go around rather than moving my scissors too much. So I'm just going to keep going. When I get to intricate leaves like that, I'm just going to cut a rough edge, and I'll come back to those in a second once I've got a smaller piece of cardstock to work with. And the same down this back here. Just do a rough cut, and then I'm going to start here, getting a little bit closer. And so you can see here I'm just going to trim in, move my cardstock. And by moving your cardstock, it also means you can get into more intricate areas because your blade stays in the same place. And so you can just move your cardstock around like this. So you can see how this is coming out. You could of course also use a scan and cut if you have one of those, which I do, but I hadn't pre-cut it out. So I thought I would share some fussy cutting tips with you, because I know fussy cutting is one of those things that everyone tells us and we groan. But there are some things you can do to make it really nice and easy. So once you've fussy cut out your flowers, they'll look like this. I already have a card base from my kit that I have scored and folded in the appropriate place. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm going to add a little bit more water to this black. And I'm going to splatter my card front. Probably not the best thing that I'm doing, given that I decided to wear a white jumper this morning. I'm hoping I don't get too much over me. And of course it's water-based, so it shouldn't be too bad. But I want to speckle pretty much the front of my card, and I'm just going to give my surface a wipe down. Now I have this speckle on there, and then we can do the fun part of assembly. So now everything's cleared up and dried, we can start assembling our card. The first thing I want to do is use this beautiful bloom sentiment that comes in the box this month. So I'm going to peel off my flowers. I'll clean those later. And I'm going to pop my card in. So my fold is at the top here. I am popping my bloom just there. Of course I can get my perfect position before I pick it up. I'm going to use some anti-static powder. I'm using my Tonic clear mark pad. So this is an embossing ink. You can use Versamark, you can use the Ultra New ink, whatever your preference is. I really like this Tonic one because it has that same spongy base, and I find I get a really nice stamp from it. So I'm giving it a nice press. I am a bit of a CPR stamper. I like to give it a press everywhere. And then I'm going to add my embossing powder to it. And I'm again using Nuvo Fine Detail Black Embossing Powder. And so I just get a little flick from the back. So you can see on there, gives you a beautiful crisp image. And these are called tidy trays. Again, everything is linked in that description for you. But because I've got that nice funnel on there, I can get everything straight back into my piece really easily. So I'm going to heat emboss this with my Wagner heat tool. So that's our finished sentiment on there. Again, I'll move my MISTI back out of the way for now. We're going to pop our flowers down here, and for that I'm going to use some of my foam tape. And I buy a big roll of the foam tape. I just find it much easier, and I buy it when it's on sale at Amazon. I do always post that on our Facebook page. If you're following us over there, you can find out when it goes on sale, and it makes a big difference. So I buy a couple of rolls when it goes on sale, but one roll lasts me, even with all the card making I do, I get maybe a year out of a roll. So I also trim pieces down, and the great thing about these non-stick scissors is that I can trim pieces down and it doesn't stick to my scissors, they don't get all gunked up. So I can just stick this down. And then you can add the where you are planted if you wanted to. You could add some pretty gems or sequins, but just one of those really quick and simple cards. But I just love the effect that it gives on there. You've got that gloss on there. You do have some sentiments you can add on your bloom sentiment. So you've got things like thank you. You could put the where you are planted on a strip under here, miss you, get well soon. So lots and lots of different options. But I'm going to leave this one like this, and I'll be sending it out in that matching envelope that I made in the other video, so those two coordinate perfectly together. Thanks so much for joining me. If you're interested in the box, we'll have a link coming up on the next screen for you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stamp the bell so that you find out more videos from Hedgehog Hollow. We'd love for you to become a box subscriber and join our Prickle community. We'll see you again very soon. Happy stamping. Bye. Be alone these